Hi everyone, let's talk about why and how we become people pleasers and approval seekers. So, when children are born, they have this faith and expectation that their parents will accept them for who they are and will be there for them spiritually, physically, financially, mentally, emotionally. But when the true self of that child is not accepted by the parents and caregivers, the child has to become somebody else in order to please the parent and the caregiver because the child's survival depends on the caregiver and the parents. So, in order to get love and approval, we become somebody else that in adulthood we don't even recognize who we have become because we have practiced this false self all our lives. So, in this game of dissociation, is what it's called, that we're born our true self, but when we see that we're not accepted by people around us and we fear for our safety and we feel so much shame, we feel that we're not enough. So, in order to please and seek approval and fit in and belong, we shapeshift and we become somebody else. A personality, a persona develops out of in order to survive and in order to play the roles. Now, this people pleasing, approval seeking, false self seems like this is going to be our solution. That if I people please enough, if I comply enough, they will love me, I will belong, I will be accepted, I will get the approval, I will finally be safe. But when we keep on performing for people, they appear happy with us. But this is a trap because the false self, we cannot keep it up. It requires a lot of energy to keep up with this false self. And we know that we're being dishonest, that the approval has been given to a false self, not our true self. Because our true self, we know, is hidden and buried and suppressed because that true self was not accepted by the caregivers and we feared for our safety. So now, carrying on in life with this false self is very, very painful, and it leads to despair, anger, depression, and becoming over controlling or uncontrollable. We implode or we explode because the burden of living as a false self is so damn painful. But the good news is that we're not alone in this. Most of the world, a lot of the world is conditioned into this codependent way of people pleasing, performing, being a perfectionist, right? So we create this mental prison in which we're just always guessing what the other person wants, and we give ourselves to them by suppressing our true self, suppressing our desires, and then creating this false facade. We are so this dishonesty and living as people pleasing self is the reason that we are our own self is not able to trust ourselves. So when the world knows us as the false self, our true self does not trust us because they know what's up. So we lose our own self-respect, we betray ourselves. Because we have betrayed and abandoned ourselves, we lose our own self respect, self esteem. And then we realize that nobody else is there for me. So I better take care of my needs and or better yet, be somebody who has no needs, right? If I have no needs and I'm always compliant, then I will be accepted and I will be safe. So that's how we fall into the trap of people pleasing in order to stay safe, in order to get accepted, in order to get approval, in order to belong. So, for these reasons, we become somebody else. Now, the journey back home means to heal from people pleasing. The journey back home is getting to know yourself, getting to know your inner family, getting to know your inner child, getting to know the part of you that is so sad and so depressed, getting to know the angry part of you. So getting to know your wise loving parent, understanding your inner critic. So once you get to know yourself, then you understand your needs, wants, and desires, then you understand what is your purpose in life, what lights you up, what makes you. So the focus becomes you. And that is how you overcome people pleasing, by making the focus of your life you, by speaking from your truth, but first connect with your truth. So find out, who am I? What is my true expression of, what is my truth? How do I want to live? What are my preferences? What do I like to do? What are my values? So, when you find your true self, the first thing you understand is, what are my values? What do I stand for? And then you can create your identity, which is your true identity. And then you work on your self expression. And all this is done via reparenting. Reparenting yourself and nurturing and fostering that, the voice of that inner child, nurturing your truth and speaking your truth and practicing stopping self abandonment, being there for yourself, speaking your truth, knowing your values, knowing your needs, wants, and desires, standing up for yourself, setting internal boundaries, setting external boundaries, and then taking up space in the world, knowing, where do I end, where does other person begin, what are my emotions, am I blending in with my emotions, am I standing with my clear thoughts, do I have serenity in my, are my, where are my choices coming from? So there's a whole video that, many videos I've done and I will continue to do on reparenting, but you have to really come back home, get to know yourself, and find value and worth in you, so that you know that you have all the answers within you. Once you know your own worth, your own value, understand that you're able to give yourself the whatever you need, the right answer, the any coping that you need to do, any soothing you need to do, any tools you need to find, any answers. So once you accept and understand that you're a whole person who's valuable and worthy, then you put in your resources into yourself rather than chasing the external. So that is my hope for you, that you become aware of the patterns of your people pleasing false self and stop the approval seeking from outside. Give yourself the approval and validation, and then keep the focus on yourself. That really is the answer. Staying in your own lane, keeping the focus on yourself, and then meeting your needs and communicating your truth, and then staying in touch with your inner family, daily doing the recovery and healing work. That is the solution. So stay tuned into my channel so I can teach you more and more every day how to heal yourself. Healing cannot be done for you by anybody from outside. No doctor, psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist, healer, nobody can. They can all be there for you and guide you, but you have to do the work of getting in touch with yourself. And that is my prayer for you.